Hey, Husky fans, Joe Summons here, NIU Athletics, joined by our head wrestling coach, Ryan Ludwig, to kind of preview the 2021 season. It's going to be an interesting one for our guys. I mean, coach, it's you return four national qualifiers from last year, a MAC champion, MAC freshman of the year from last season. How excited are you to see these guys hit the mat this year?
Excited isn't the word, Joe. And actually, we do return four national qualifiers from last year, but five in total, as Bryce West qualified 2 years ago. So to have a group like that returning, I mean, it is fantastic. It's incredibly exciting, and we can't wait to take to the mat.
I mean, it was an incredible year last year. I mean, big win over Central Michigan. I mean, our most wins in quite some time. I mean, how do you build off that success from last year heading into this season?
Yeah, we really came together as a squad, and that culminated with a great showing at the MAC championship last year in DeKalb. So that was a great time. I think the way we built off that is just really in our strength in that group is that, we have fantastic peer leadership right now. Guys, leading the way like Brit Wilson, young guys stepping up into leadership roles like Izzak Olenek. We've got a senior returning, a guy named Max Irie, Bryce West, Gage Braun, all these guys that are, doing these incredible things on the mat, not to mention other guys who've had significant wins in great situations. They're all our hardest workers, bringing each other along, helping the new guys, and just paving the way, kind of really, buying into that culture that we're preaching at all times and creating a new culture of their own where expectations are high. They're going to push each other, but they're going to pick each other up at the right times as well. So we're at an extremely healthy level right now in terms of peer leadership and guys pushing each other in the room. And we really credit a lot of our success to that.
We talked about that at the end of last season, the peer leadership group. Where did that come from? Where did it start? I mean, is it something that kind of organically happened the last couple of years, or has it always been a program like that?
Yeah, you send the message, and as coaches, you're hoping it catches on. But I think with the coaching staff that we have in place, I mean, these guys, Dominic Moyer has been around here for a long time. Kyle Springer's been with us for a short period of time, but everybody's on the same page, delivering the same message. Those guys work incredibly hard to push every guy in the room and make them better as men, not just as wrestlers or student athletes. So I think that catches fire. It's contagious, just as negativity could be. But the positivity has caught fire, doing things the right way, not necessarily the easy way. That's the way things are done in our room. And I think that, once you're putting the time in and doing those things correctly and the success follows, then that just creates that culture you speak of. And, where doing the right things gets that payoff in terms of W's in the column as well.
Now, obviously, we lost last year the NCAA championships due to COVID. It's still with us. Can you talk about some of the challenges you guys have faced, preparing for this season under these COVID conditions?
Yeah, while last year, everything came crashing down, and it was heartbreaking not to be able to get these guys to the NCAA tournament. After we were able to digest that and step back, we really took the positives from it, the way we were able to, we had a championship event. We got to have the MAC championship in our hometown. We had a good showing. We qualified guys for the show. And while we weren't able to culminate that with our finish at NCAAs, we took a lot of positive momentum from that. And coming into this fall, having to basically separate ourselves from our team, all the guys weren't able to be together, to train together. It took a long time through the summer and the fall for us to be able to get rolling again and get together as a group. It really gets you that perspective when you step back and realize how much you appreciated that and what a privilege it is to be together, training hard and grinding every day. So although it's challenging, we're a sport who always talks about adversity and taking those challenges head on and seeing them through. This particular instance provided us with a platform to, put our money where our mouth was and walk the walk in terms of battling adversity. And so really proud of the way my staff and more importantly, the guys on the team, all the support staff, our athletic trainers, and everybody has come together and just navigate these challenges with a positive attitude. And really, you do the best you can with the situation, and we've been able to do that. And I think we've maximized our training, our mindset, in navigating these adverse times. And I think right now, standing on the, really a couple of days away from our first match, I mean, we put the time in, we've navigated through the challenges. I mean, we're excited to get out there and get her going finally. So really, I think it just, gives you a new appreciation for being able to do what we want to do, which is get out there and compete. So we're excited to get out there this weekend. That's for sure.
Very interesting schedule this year. By this time, the guys would have had probably, let's just say like 10 to 12, live matches under their belt heading into this, the schedule, the dual meet schedule, but no open tournaments. We only have 3 true dual meets, only 1 home match. How do you attack this slate?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the schedule is what it is. You can't go back and say, hey, we wish we'd have had these matches. Right now we'd be more than halfway through the season. We'd be done with Midlands and potentially another duel, and heading into the backside of the season here. But, again, you just keep training, you're getting better. Our focus has been an improvement every day. And although we can't step out there and haven't been able to step out there in the fall and, step on the line with an opponent from another team, we've created some simulations in our mat room. We've gotten our guys down to weight. We've put them through our pre-match routines, those kind of things. So done everything within our power and our scope to get these guys prepared mentally and physically to have been through this test, with all the resources that we have at hand. So outside of seeing another opponent, outside of our mat room, we've kind of been through some of those competitions. So again, we feel prepared. We feel confident, but that being said, humbly approaching our first competition, because we know that a year older doesn't necessarily mean a year better. But I think that these guys understand that they're hungry for more. Just qualifying for the national tournament is great. These guys have goals that are bigger than that. So we're proud of the work ethic they put in, the hunger they put in, and you can see it in the mat room as we've built and built and built over these series of months and weeks, so that we can actually put it on the line this weekend. Now, the one thing with the young guys, for those guys, they're typically able to get to these open tournaments, and kind of see where they're at with the rest of the guys in the country. So they're wrestling some pretty tough older guys in the mat room. They're holding their own, they're doing well, but it'll be exciting to potentially get them some extra matches as we head out into these competitions and see where they stand as well.
And talking about that schedule too, you guys, the wrestling community has had to come up with a creative way to get bouts in. There's a lot of tri meets, quad meets. How does that play into the guys' mentality approaching every event? Every weekend, I should say.
Yeah, there's a limited amount of dates, so we have to get a certain number of matches in. You want to get a healthy number of matches in and be prepared for postseason wrestling, but you also don't want to overdo it, So I guess the message on that is that every weekend that you step on the line, you need to be ready, right? We've really been preaching our health, our recovery, making sure that we're cutting our weight properly, and basically the same things we would be preaching on a normal year. It's just abbreviated. So, really the preparation, the mindset, the health of each individual is crucial as you head into each weekend. And then the message, even furthermore, with all these, the COVID issues and those kind of things, and never knowing, despite your best efforts and doing everything correctly, when a positive test could arise. So, with the 32 guys on our squad, the message is from man number 1 all the way down to the next guy in line. You need to be ready to go out and compete at your best, okay, at short notice. So all of our guys have took to that, and they're excited. They're ready. So we feel pretty blessed right now. We're in a good spot. So we just got to stay positive and be ready and get out there and let it fly, bud.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, you brought up, you kind of just touched on my next question I was going to ask about. Depth is always important in a season, but in a season like this, where you may or may not have a guy on a trip, it's just got to take on some kind of extra added value. I got to imagine the guys in the room are working as if they're going to wrestle that weekend.
Yeah, it does. And that has to be the mentality, whereas in normal years, you may have a freshman who, he's training, he's getting better, but he knows he's in a redshirt situation. And we talk about those things where, hey guys, we don't declare the redshirts until the end of the year, so be ready to go. Well, this year, more so than ever, that is 100% true, because at any time, boom, that guy could be called upon to be on the bus and compete for us in a varsity role, and not just, make weight, step out there. I mean, we're talking about be ready to go, be mentally prepared to go out there and compete and be in a starting role, potentially that weekend and through the rest of the year.
Can you just kind of talk about, I mean, probably my last question is got to be, I mean, what do you feel is going to be the key to this, to success this season?
Keys to success are, pretty much always what they are. Okay. I mean, we have to control what we can control, get a little bit better in that mat room every day, take to our training correctly, stay healthy, follow all the guidelines that we preach on a daily basis. So really step one, I mean, ultimately is health. Okay. Because if we can't get on that wrestling mat, okay, it's tough to get your hand raised. Okay. And then secondly, coming into that mat room with the right attitude and approach every day, okay, to improve, to push yourself, push your personal wall back a little bit more where you can push and go a little bit deeper every day. Okay. And then really we want to focus on every individual is incredibly important, and everybody's got these, for lack of a better term, kind of selfish things they need to do for themselves to compete at their best on the weekends and those kind of things. But, really what I think happened last year, which was important for us too, is we got a very big team feel. Okay. Guys were pushing matches to score bonus points in matches. Perhaps a guy was in a situation where he wasn't going to win the match, but he was able to compete hard enough so he didn't give up bonus points. Okay, all those kind of things that are very, very important in dual meet settings, and really when it comes down to it, a tournament setting as well. Okay, so where guys could, kind of tuck tail and it wasn't going perfect for them that day, we have a ton of fight. Okay, and everybody's pushing each other or pushing themselves, not only for themselves but for the man standing next to them. Okay, and we've really got a good team feel going right now, and a very good vibe and an exciting feel going into these matches. So guys are pushing each other, and I think they expect a lot out of themselves and the guy standing next to them. So I think that elevates everyone to a higher level.
Well, Coach, I can't thank you enough for joining us today. Wish you nothing but the best. And I mean, hey, let's try and get another MAC Coach of the Year award for you. That was a real special moment for you last year. So wish you guys nothing but the best this year.
Hey, thanks, Joe. We really appreciate you having us on, buddy.
No problem. Thanks, Coach. See you later, man. Yeah, we're joined now by Brit Wilson, 2020 MAC champion last year at 184. Brit, what was it like to win the MAC title in front of the home fans last year for you?
Yeah, it felt good. A big thing that really stood out for me was being able to beat that Mizzou guy that earlier in the year. He beat me at the duel, and it really felt good to know that, I got back with coaches, with the teammates, and really worked on positions and things that I knew I needed to improve. And to be able to see that and to go out there and really put it to that guy and win that MAC championship felt really good. It was huge for me.
It was an intense bout too. I mean, you were down for a little while and you just flipped the script and you just wrote it out, and it was incredible. I mean, it's one moment I'll never forget.
Yes, I mean, it's a dogfight. Any of the matches where it's on the line like that, there's a lot to be lost and to be won. It's it's always going to be a fight and be a battle, and you just got to weather the storm and just keep fighting.
Was it tough? I mean, obviously it's tough to qualify for the NCAA for your second straight year. You wanted to prove your medal again out in front of everybody. You had it taken away from you because of COVID, but now you're back. How much has that driven you this year?
Yeah, it feels. I mean, you obviously you hate to see that have that happen. A lot of guys miss chances and stuff, but that's just life. That's the way things go. So you really got to bounce back. And we had a little break. It's good to let the body rest a little bit, get kind of reset, and then get right back after it, and just been hungry, and the whole team we're ready to go. We're excited, finally get back on the mat. So it's just bounce back and just keep fighting, keep pushing, and just get right back on track to what we were doing.
It's kind of a strange, fall for you guys as student athletes. I mean, you're 1 minute you're back on campus, then you're sent home to work to do your schoolwork from there, and then you don't know if you're going to have a season yet. What was it like when you found out you guys you're clear to get back to competing and practicing and getting ready for a season?
Yeah, it was exciting just knowing that, we're finally getting a little bit of some structure and some, some things that are everything wasn't up in the air. It's kind of getting set now. We know what to expect and stuff. And being wrestlers and stuff, we're resilient. You got to be able to bounce back regardless of what's going on, and always got to always stay positive, keep a good mindset and stuff. So, but it feels good knowing that we finally got some structure and we're getting back after it and able to do what we love.
Obviously, you're one of the leaders on the team. I mean, last year, but now you're one of the older leaders on the team. How does that feel for you, and how have you accepted that role and embraced that role?
Yeah, I mean, I love helping the young guys, carrying them along, and being able to be in there. I've been in their shoes. I've been through what they've been through, and being able to help them, and just it feels good to be able to lead and just help the team, because you're only as good as the guys around you. So it's not, we're a team, and everybody together, and you're only as good as your partners and stuff. So really lifting them up and helping them, makes me have to take my my ability and my wrestling skills and stuff to another level, because you got to lead by example and carry along, and we've got a lot of good guys, other guys on the team that are leading, and just got a real tight group that's really getting after it.
Obviously, the ultimate goal is to get to the NCAA, is get on that podium. What are some of the goals you set forth for yourself this year to get to that spot?
Really just keeping a good mindset, with everything going on. You really just gotta, like I said, stay resilient. Just every day getting in the room, and all the outside stuff, you gotta leave that at the door, and you really just gotta go in there and put in your work. Keep improving every day, staying hungry. Knowing that nothing's for granted. Every day is a blessing, and just to be able to get in there and work and keep pushing towards the goals. Our team, we want more guys at the national tournament this year. We want to be MAC champions. We're ready. We're excited. So just to keep pushing and keep carrying each other along, and ultimately get on that podium and get up there and really show what we've been working on. So it's exciting.
And you're gonna have a real interesting schedule in which to get there too. I mean,
Yeah.
one home match, 3 true dual meets, the rest are a bunch of quads and tries or whatever. I mean, can you talk about what it's going to be like to navigate a schedule like that?
I think just once again, just every situation, every match counts. We're not going to have a whole lot of matches this year, most likely. So you don't have a lot of room to be not focused. You really got to have your head in the game, be ready, and like I said, every match, every duel is a blessing to be able to get out there and wrestle. So really make the most of it, and have fun, enjoy it, and do what we do. Be some dogs out there, and we know we're putting in the work, and that we've got the skills to do it and stuff. So just get right back after it.
Well, I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope to see you back up there on the podium again. I mean, it was thrilling to see it at home, but I would love to see you get back up there, and another great season for you.
Yep, I'm excited. So it's going to be a good year. We're getting after it in the room. It's been, we've had a lot of energy, a lot of young guys, and older guys. We're all coming along, and we're definitely ready. So it'll be a good show.
Thanks for joining us, Brit. Really appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, Joe.
Appreciate it. Hey, now we're joined by 2020 MAC Freshman of the Year and NCAA qualifier, Izzak Olenek. Izzak, how you doing, bud?
Good. How are you?
Oh, perfect. Just got to ask you, you had a heck of a year last year. I mean, what was the biggest lesson you learned from last season?
Really, it was just, wrestle through all positions, just keep wrestling. Now that's kind of the main thing that I took away from last year. No matter who you're wrestling or what, just keep wrestling.
Qualified for the NCAAs last year, like we mentioned, had the trip canceled due to COVID. It was kind of devastating. It was kind of heartbreaking, but how much of a motivation has that been for you this year to make that big dance and get down there to the NCAAs?
It's everything. I mean, it's always been a dream of mine to wrestle at the tournament. And, when I was little, I would always go with my dad, make the trip down there and watch, the 10 mats or whatever they got down there. But no, it's everything. It's given me extra motivation to, do it again this year. But I think the biggest thing is just focusing on, not just what we're doing now, but what we're doing now to get to the tournament. So
how much did you have to adjust you don't want to get away from who you are and what you are as a wrestler, but you're going to be growing, you're going to be developing your craft. How did you have to adjust from what you did last year to maintain your success this year?
I don't know if it's adjusting what I like what I did last year. I think it's just continuing what I've been doing. That's kind of one thing I pride myself on is just hard work. Putting the hard work with all the practices we do and all the conditioning. Just give my all effort, and I think that's what helped me last year was just competing my hardest every time I got a chance to get on the mat, and I think that's what really excelled me. So my plan is to just continue doing that this year, and hopefully get the same result.
Let's say, what are some of your goals heading into this season? Obviously, making the NCAA tournament is tops on the list. Can you just talk about some of the things you're looking to accomplish this year?
Yeah, the main thing is getting on the podium at the tournament, being an NCAA All-American. That's where I set my goals, and those little goals, we have those little goals throughout the season. Just being dominant, having dominant wins, beating guys you're not supposed to beat. But other than that, it's just the main goal is just being on top of that podium, or being on the podium come March.
And this is just kind of an interesting year. I mean, obviously you had your tail end of your season canceled due to COVID. We're still kind of living under those circumstances. What's been the biggest challenge for you preparing for this season under the COVID restrictions?
Yeah, we've had a very unique kind of training situation. In August we weren't able to have contact with our partners, so it was kind of on our own in the wrestling room. But I think that really helped us because we were able to get the basics down. A lot of times we can kind of overlook the basics of wrestling, so it was good to just be able to focus on the basics and get those down before we kind of jumped into it. But it wasn't, I mean, it's different. It's hard to explain. It's definitely not normal, but we're just glad to be able to be on the mat every day and get ready for competition. So it's been
kind of an interesting schedule too. I mean, one home match, not too many just true dual meets. You got a lot of quads, a lot of tries. How do you mentally get yourself set up for those days where you're going to have potentially 2 to 3 matches you have to compete in?
I'm kind of taking it as like a tournament style. On the days we have like the 2 matches or the 3 matches or whatever, it's a long day, so you kind of just take it one match at a time. It's like kind of all the other matches, but no, yeah, it's definitely going to be a weird but I think a unique year because of, like you said, the 10 matches and kind of the 3 and the 2 in one day. But it's just wrestling. You're just going out there and wrestling and putting it all out there. So no matter how many matches you have in a day, it's just going out there and competing.
Well, hey man, we can't wait to see you back out on the mat. Wish you nothing but success, and hopefully you get a chance to actually get down to the NCAA tournament this year instead of what happened last year.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thank you.